I didn't want to kill Breeze. I love Breeze. I was your age when I killed him.
So, for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the mystery and the potential lore around Breeze. Now, I seen a lot of thumbnails where people was explaining like, oh, it could be Famous, it could be Marvin, Lulu, Unique, Detective Howard. I'm like, those are all good guesses. Those are really good guesses, and the information could technically almost line up with one another. Now, in the future, if there's like any rumors or any like information that sounds legit but it's not legit, I'm not gonna cover it. I'm gonna refrain myself from covering it because, since I'm coming up there now, I'm gonna try to like not pull out too much disinformation. I'm gonna try to not to do that. But I'm gonna go down the list of me explaining like all of the candidates who could potentially be Breeze, right? Now, I'm gonna go with candidate number one would be Famous because Famous's transformation could technically make sense for him to be Breeze because when you look at the facts of, okay, him trying to become a rapper, right? And he's been working on, he fell off. He fell off because he's been on the drugs. He's not been, practicing on his rhymes. He just fell off. But the moment when he killed Freddy, it seems like it could have been a change. We don't know particularly what can actually happen. I could be wrong about this. We all could be wrong about this. That maybe he's like, oh, since he's experienced the murder and the killing, that maybe he should actually get into more of it, like the selling the drugs. And Kanan is teaching him. Well, he's already teaching him more about the drug business and how to move and all this stuff, right? And then maybe he would renounce the name of Famous. Like I don't like that name anymore. I like the name Breeze, right? And then he's just like, oh, Breeze, huh? Now, the possibilities of Famous actually being Breeze, one, it could make sense, and two, all right, I'm gonna tell you, I tell you like the reason why it can make sense because, so remember when Kanan was in prison and he was making all these moves and plays to get back at Ghost, and he tried to have an assassin kill Ghost, and he even manipulated Ghost to killing Rolla. Now, that would make sense because if, Kanan didn't forget about, what Ghost did and basically, he killed his friend, which was Famous, then it would have only made sense for him to have him kill Rolla in return. Because since both Kanan and Breeze was basically father figures and street figures to Ghost and Tommy, instead of Kanan killing Ghost for what he did, the only reason would have been for him to continue to work for him instead of killing him, right? I think so. And then maybe when he got sent to jail, I think the perfect revenge was for him to kill somebody that was really close to him, which was Rolla, because he adored Rolla. So I think it would have only made sense in a revenge play for him to actually do it, right? But then at the same time, when you think about it, which would be my second debate, is more like if he did any of that, right? Why did he not talk about it in Power? Why didn't he try to like make an effort to like try to go after a Ghost? I mean, yeah, he did, but I mean, that's his best friend. Like, you can't just get over that, right? You just can't get over it. But then at the same time, he killed his own son. So would it really matter? Would Famous's death really matter to Kanan if Ghost killed him, right? So it's like it's kind of like poking holes into that theory on if Famous is actually Breeze, because would he have cared? Would he have not cared at the time? And what experiences did Kanan go through for him to either would have cared or would have not have cared? But if Famous is Breeze, then the revenge would have made sense for Ghost to have Ghost kill Rolla because of what he did, even though it wasn't mentioned. But if it was mentioned, then it would have made sense. But I don't think Famous is Breeze. I could be wrong, but I don't think Famous is Breeze. I don't think he is, because that part would have been mentioned, like, oh, I got back at you for what you did. So I don't think so. Now, the second person I want to go through is basically an easy one, would be Marvin, because Marvin in this season, right? He was on point. He was on point because he was getting his life straightened out, and everything was kind of like working for him, right? Everything was working for him at the end. And in season 3, it's going to be something interesting. But for him to be in Breeze, it would have to go up against. He has to go up against everything that Rock told him to. Everything that he believes. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Because Marvin to be in Breeze, a family, no. I can't even think of anything for Marvin, to be honest. I think his death is gonna be something that's not gonna be related to. Well, it is gonna be related to like something with Rock, but nah, I just can't see it. I can't see it because why I say I can't see it because if Marvin was Breeze, then wouldn't you think that Jukebox would have done everything in her power to go after Ghost and tried to kill him? There wouldn't have been any nightclub if she would have known that, oh, he killed Marvin, her own father. Then, and you know how when Ghost, and I think Tommy was explaining, it was just like, oh, like Jukebox, oh, that crazy bitch. Like, oh, because they know how sadistic she was. So it was like, why would Marvin be Breeze if she would have done everything in her power? And she's a cop, she would have destroyed Ghost. She would have destroyed Ghost before he would have had anything. I mean, yeah, he probably would have done something to, outsmarting her or whatever. But, I mean, she would have done everything in her power to go after him. Everything. So I'm just like, I don't count Marvin as being Breeze. I mean, I understand some people can maybe see it, but I don't really see him being Breeze. And then you look at Unique. Oh, boy, Unique. See, Unique and Kanan, I guess in season 1 there was like, I guess what some of y'all said it was interaction, but I gotta go back and check to see if there was. I think there was like something, but we haven't fully seen like season 2 like them actually talking or that never there wasn't any of that. It was just mainly Unique and Rock and then the whole Italian biz. It wasn't really any of that. Now season 3, yes, there will be interactions. Yes, there will be, but it wasn't no interactions in season 2, but for him to be in Breeze, it has to make sense because Kanan loves, well, I shouldn't say love, but Kanan and Symphony had like some sort of a bond, a connection, and Kanan respected and liked the Symphony. Unique, on the other hand, not so much. Kanan's gonna be looking at this man sideways like, yo, you sitting there trying to wine and dine his moms and, trying to talk that sweet shit, even though he did save their life, but for him to be in Breeze, again, Rock can't be alive. She can't be alive on the timeline if Unique is going to be teaching Kanan the ways, teaching him more of the ways, and them both running the streets together. That's not possible unless Rock is dead. That's not possible. So, for him to be in Breeze, it's a long run. It's a long run for him to actually be in Breeze. And then you have Detective Howard. Okay, Detective Howard, he knows the streets. He knows the corners. Okay, he knows all of that. But he's not a drug dealer. He doesn't sell drugs. I mean, even if he was but to lose his badge, I mean, to have a cop on the And the reason why I can even say Howard is not being Breeze, because then there would have been like a whole thing. Kanan would have been looked at because they would have been like, wait a minute, you rolling with this guy, and if at the time. No, hell no, no, because I was trying to say like, yeah, maybe if Kanan would have been looked at, but then Kanan would have went to prison before Ghost would have sent him to prison. When you think about it, if he was rolling around him like that, because they were like, oh, like the last person who saw him alive was Kanan, so I don't think that would have been possible. And then to have like the whole police department, like having the whole police department like look for Howard, like, oh, he died or whatever, if he's still a cop. But if he's not a cop, then it could make sense though. Like if all the stuff that happened with Shannon and he loses his badge or whatever, it could potentially make sense if he was to become Breeze, if he was to lose his badge or whatever, and then he's just like, he has nothing. He's put in a situation where he doesn't have anything, and then he's just like, all right, maybe I'll start selling drugs or whatever, and then it will be father and son selling drugs. But then at the same time, Ghost killing his father, I don't think that would sit right with Kanan. I don't think it would sit right with him. I don't think it would sit right with him. And then Kanan would have came after Ghost probably early. Nah, I don't think so. No. And the last person, well, not the last person, but the other person I should also talk about is like D-Wiz's brother. Now, he's a big mystery. A lot of people is, speculating that it's really him. It's him, D-Wiz's brother that's actually Breeze. But keep in mind, D-Wiz's brother has to like really get to know Kanan. I'm saying they have to be like really close, super tight, and they really about that life together. It would have to make sense because D-Wiz and Kanan, they was boys. They was boys. Even when 50 said it in the intro, where he was just like, yeah, they was boys. They had everything on. Well, not everything on lock, but they was boys until he died. So, but he's still like a candidate for him to be like Breeze. And then the last person who I think might be Breeze, could be Breeze, is Lulu. Because remember how when I said in my previous video where I was just like, Kanan is almost wearing the exact same clothes as Lulu. Like, you see the chain, you see the jacket, and I'm like, Lulu might actually be Breeze. Because when you see, like, everything that happened in Season 1 and Season 2, where Lulu tried to get out the game. Lulu tried his best to get out the game, but Rock is like, no, you ain't going anywhere. You gonna stay right here because I own your shit. I own you. You can't go anywhere. And when you look at like Lulu could come off as, he can have that Tariq vibe where it's just like, you gotta go. You have to go because you own everything. I can't get away from you. And I think that it would make sense for him to be Breeze because in Season 2 of Raising Kanan, Lulu and Kanan had like some small interactions here and there. They had some small interactions because remember, I forgot which episode it was where, Rock was, getting the troops together talking about business. And that's when Lulu was just like, oh, like you back in this drug shit again. He's just like, hey, this is family. This is what we do. So I'm like, okay. Maybe there could come a time where Lulu and Kanan might actually, talk or whatever. But again, this has to be a future where Rock is not around. I'm saying, if she's not, as what she's saying, retired and collecting the checks, then she has to be dead. She has to be dead for both Kanan and Lulu to actually take over the streets together and to actually move around. Because I'm thinking, like, if something does happen to Lulu, then I guess it would make sense for like Kanan to like maybe have like his chain and then maybe like a different style type of jacket that's maybe custom made or whatever, because it looks nearly identical. And I'm like, wait a minute. Lulu and Kanan, like, yeah, like I said, small interactions here and there, but could something actually grow between the two? Because they both have so much in common. I mean, you can kind of like compare everybody, have everything in common, but strictly those two. You gotta look at those two because Rock screwed over Kanan by not telling him the truth from the moment he was born, and even further on when he grew up, didn't even tell him the truth, had him kill his own father, had him do all that shit, right? And then when you look at Lulu, she basically owns Bulletproof Records, and she manipulated him into killing Crown, right? And a bunch of other fuck shit along the way, and a bunch of shit that's gonna happen in Season 3. So it's like they kind of have something in common where Rock screwed them both over, and Kanan can leave, but he can't really leave. He can't really go anywhere because that's Rock's whole organization. That's her shit that she's running. And then Lulu, he definitely can't leave because again, that's her money, organization, and he can't go anywhere, so he's basically screwed. So I'm thinking that if Lulu is Breeze, then it would only make sense that since they share that in common, they run the streets together, they do all this and that together. But then it comes back, it's like a wrench. It's like a wrench that comes in because even if he was Breeze, right? Ghost kills him. How you think Kanan's gonna feel about it if? But actually no. I don't know because if let's just say in the future like Kanan finds out the truth that it was actually Lulu to have pulled the trigger. One, would he forgive Lulu for what he done, right? Or two, would he maybe kill Lulu, or something could potentially happen to Lulu, right? Because I was thinking, I was like, okay, even if he was to find out the truth that okay, he was the one to have killed his best friend D-Whiz, would he really blame him if he was to explain that no, Rock made me do it, Rock told me to do it? So I don't think that he would really blame him. I don't think he would like really blame him because everybody knows that Rock is like again she's a scary woman, like she the devil of Southside. So it's like anytime she gives an order is always met and is always like, you know, given. No, not given, but follow through. I should say follow through. The order is always followed through. So I'm thinking, I'm like, if he's Breeze and then if Ghost kills him, would he feel anything? Would that even matter to him? So excluding all of the people that I've mentioned, because I think out of everybody, I think I'll tell you this, I think maybe 4 people. I even think it's Lulu, Famous, D-Wiz's brother. Actually, no, 3 people. No, I'm sorry. I'm bugging. I'm all over the place. Or a mystery person, because I think they want us to be. I think all the showrunners want us to be surprised by who this person is, and I don't think it's gonna be anybody that we've predicted, anybody we've called. I don't think so, because I think they know as we the fans it's gonna be like, oh, I think it's this person. No, I think it's that person. It's Symphony. Oh my God, it's definitely Marvin. But it's like, no, I believe it's gonna be somebody that is gonna be, you know, unexpected. We couldn't believe it could be true, right? But I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, and it could probably be one of the people that's on the list. It could be even one of them that could be on the list that could potentially be Breeze. But let me know what you guys think about my explainings and me going through down the list of who could potentially be Breeze. And yeah, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you all in the next one.